Welcome to something short and sweet in the Parsha. This week, Parshas Emor, with some very important financial advice. That's right, financial advice. How does one preserve his assets? Aliyos Revi through Shishi speak of the Moadim, their sacrifices, the various mitzvahs of the holidays. But if you read those sections very carefully, you see that there is one pasuk that seems not to belong. After Pesach, Sfiras HaOmer, and Shavuos, there is a pasuk there about harvesting the field, taking the gleanings or not taking gleanings, and not taking the corner of the field. The mitzvos of Peah and Leket, leaving that for the poor. And here all the Mefarshim pounce and they say, what on earth is this doing in this section? Completely out of place. And each of the Mefarshim gives an explanation which is more beautiful than the next. Today, we focus on the answer of the Sefarno, who says this is not at all out of place. This follows the Omer and Shvuos, which is the Shtei Halechem, which is brought on Shvuos. He learns is a thanksgiving offering. I've had my crops, specifically my wheat, and I bring from that wheat an offering. It's an offering of thanks. Sforno says the Torah pauses right then and there and says, you've had a good crop. You've brought an offering. You're aware that this came from the Ribono Shel Olam. I'll tell you what you need to do. Preserve that wealth. And you know how you preserve that wealth? There's an aphorism that we find in the Gemara in Ksuvis, which says, Melach mamon chaser. If you want to salt your money, salt is a preservative. If you want to preserve your money, chaser, you need to lose some of that money, meaning give tzedakah. Or the Gemara says, there's another way of reading it, not chaser, but chesed. You want to preserve your money, do chesed, do acts of kindness with that money. This is the way the money will be preserved. That aphorism, that statement was in a story about the daughter of one of the most wealthy people that ever lived, Nakdimon ben Gurion, who was seen as a complete pauper and was asked by Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, what on earth happened to you? Your father was so wealthy. And she says, you know, Melech Mamon Chesed, Melech Mamon Choser. My father was fabulously wealthy, and he didn't give the tzedakah that he should have. Or perhaps he didn't give the tzedakah with the proper intention, and therefore he lost his money. The Torah comes along, says Sforno, and says, you had a beautiful crop, make sure to do chesed, make sure to give tzedakah. Financial advice there in the heart of the Moadim in the talk about the holidays. Make sure to give money, although we have a concept, Galgal Choser Ba'olam. There is a wheel of finances that goes on in the world. Chazal talk about this. One generation in a family might be wealthy, next generation might be poor. But there is something that suspends that wheel and keeps the assets of a family intact for generations. And that is doing tzedakah, doing chesed, the proper tzedakah and the proper chesed. The tzedakah and chesed, which is altruistic, which is done for the proper reasons, and the tzedakah and chesed, which is done at the level that a person should be doing it. Financial advice from Parshas Emor. Financial advice of how to preserve one's assets from the Ribono Shel Olam himself. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great Shabbos.